distinguished guests, fellow citizens of Famagusta, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to thank the All-Parliamentary Group of MPs and its convener, Mr. David Burrows, in particular, for giving us the opportunity to present the plight of the ghost town of Famagusta on the eastern coast of the island of Cyprus. Famagusta, or Varosha, as it is otherwise known, was overrun by the advancing forces of the Turkish army in the 1974 invasion of Cyprus, as the town was abandoned by its inhabitants in the wake of the advancing forces, fleeing the town in fear for their lives. The town was immediately hermetically sealed by the occupying forces, which erected a 2-meter-high perimeter fence of barbed wire and barrels, and remains so to this day. 37 years on, the town remains desolate and empty of its inhabitants, with its infrastructure crumbling and decaying from the merciless action of the elements. Back in 1974, Famagusta was the home to 42,000 people and constituted the main center for tourism, trade, and culture on the island. Its hotels accounted for over 50% of the total tourist bed availability in Cyprus, whilst its port handled more than 80% of the total cargo and almost 50% of the total passenger traffic. The port of Famagusta was the export point of most of the citrus fruit, potatoes and carrots grown in the district, produce which became so well known and popular with the British consumers. The return of Famagusta to its rightful owners is one of the prerequisites to any long-lasting solution to the Cyprus problem that is reached between the two communities. Yet, Turkish Premier Tayyip Erdogan, in his recent visit to the self-styled Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, declared that Famagusta will never be returned to the Greek Cypriots. We have with us the mayor of Famagusta, who is going to put the case for the return of our town. Mr. Alexis Galanos obtained a master's in economics and sociology from Cambridge University. He also studied law and is a barrister at law of the Inner Temple. He was elected member of the House of Representatives 5 times during the period 1981 to 1996 and served as president of the House between 1991 and 96. He has chaired many parliamentary committees and headed the parliamentary delegation of Cyprus in the Council of Europe and the Interparliamentary Union for many years. He has also been chairman of the Joint Parliamentary European Cyprus Committee and head of the Cyprus Parliament delegation at the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Until his election as mayor, he was a member of the board of the Central Bank of Cyprus. Before his speech, however, we invite you to watch a short film on Famagusta, what the town was like back in 1974 and what it is like today. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Friends of Cyprus, Teresa, Nick, Andy, High Commissioner, I see a lot of old friends here, and I'd like to thank you for coming to attend this session, which I consider very important. We are now about 37 years after we left our beloved town of Famagusta. At the time, we were feeling that we would return within a day or two, within a week. After a month, we left only with the luggage because Famagusta was outside the so-called Attila plan. So we were expecting from day to day to return to our town. Unfortunately, days became months, months became years, 5, 10, 37 years, and Famagusta, the most beautiful town of Cyprus, is now a ghost town, a town of ruins, a town that is rotting, dead to the world, returning back to the elements of nature. I would also say a testament of the intentions of Turkey, because I cannot really imagine any European country would have allowed this situation to develop. My own feeling as a European, not as a citizen of Cyprus, that what's happening on the question of Famagusta is tantamount to a crime of war at a time of peace. And I would like to remind that Famagusta is kept closed as a Turkish military zone. It's not occupied, that area of Famagusta at least, by Turkish Cypriots. It's occupied by Turkish troops. Now you will ask, what is a mayor of Famagusta? The first question they asked me, what mayor is a mayor without town? Well, the first thing I like to reply is that I'm an elected mayor. The people, and it's very important to stress this point, the people of Famagusta and their descendants who are living all around Cyprus, they are voting, at the same time they are voting for the mayors of the free towns of Cyprus, and there is a very keen contest on the election of the mayor of Famagusta. I was elected about 5 years ago. We're having elections again in December, and I got 55 point something of the vote. The voters of Famagusta are about 30,000, and the people of Famagusta, when they left the town, they were about 45,000 towns. Out of the 30,000 people, about 65%, 20,000 plus voted. Now, what the mayor of Famagusta is doing? A mayor of Famagusta is an ambassador, as you say in English, at large. Mr. Ambassador, I'm not going to take away your job, but I'm projecting the question of Famagusta. We have collected signatures immediately after the election of the mayor. We did it like a military operation. We had 24 points in Cyprus that people would vote, would sign a petition requesting the return of Famagusta, requesting the implementation of the United Nations Security Council resolutions and the European resolutions, requesting the guarantor powers, Britain, to take steps for the return. And of course, declaring our wish that we will continue struggling and fighting peacefully to get back to our town. We did this campaign to show that after the Annan plan, our people were united and our people wanted to return. Irrespective of how they voted there, that was over, done and over, and they wanted to go back. So the mayor is projecting the signatures. There are 2 big volumes which we presented to the European Parliament. At the time, the President of the European Parliament was Hans Pöttering. We had a session there, a ceremony in Brussels where we did. We presented them in the American Congress, and we present them in many other parts of the world, and we're also presenting photographs of Famagusta, and we do everything in our power to keep a ghost town alive, and also to keep the social fabric of the town alive, and the young people of Famagusta close to us, not forgetting that this town belongs to us, and that we are not a museum or a museum piece, but we are an alive organization. We are a government in exile. Our people feel they are in exile and they are going to return, and we are fighting to return back to our town. I would like, when we talk about Famagusta, of course, the first off area, we must not forget that this represents only about 20% of the original municipal boundaries of Famagusta of 1974. The biggest part of the unfenced area has already been settled by settlers from Turkey. There is a gray area there still, but I would say that Famagusta, as we know it, the biggest part, Agios Lugas, Agios Memnos, and other areas have already been colonized by Turkey. Famagusta has always been a focal point because of its special status as a ghost town of world attention. Famagusta was proposed to be returned by the American, Canadian, British plan immediately with the start of the talks in 1978. Famagusta was part of the high-level agreement between Mr. Kyprianou and Dektash. And Mr. Dektash at the time agreed for the priority of returning Famagusta. But of course, he did not keep his word. Then we had the 1984 all-important 550 Security Council resolution stating very clearly that Famagusta should be returned under United Nations auspices to its lawful inhabitants. That was repeated by another equally strong resolution of United Nations Security Council 789, which was voted in 1992. Then we had resolutions of the Council of Europe. And then, of course, the last 2 years, we have paragraphs on the progress report of Turkey stating clearly that the priority of Famagusta should be respected, and the resolutions 550 and 789 should be implemented. Unfortunately, Turkey are not feeling the pressure over returning the town of Famagusta because of Turkey's geopolitical role, because of the economic importance, maybe because it's playing a role in the NATO alliance. Everybody keeps, I would say, double standards as far as the implementation of United Nations resolutions and the rule of law by Turkey. So we see a paradox. Turkey violating clearly United Nations Security Council resolutions, and this does not hinder Turkey becoming chairman of the Security Council. Turkey violating human rights in Cyprus and knocking at the door of Europe to join Europe. Turkey talking about the blockade of Gaza very nicely to the Arab people, and blockading, and at the same time is blocking and blockading Famagusta and blocking the citizens of Famagusta to return back to their town. Turkey is a champion against illegal immigration, and Cyprus now is full of illegal immigrants, and in fact, they constitute the majority in the north under occupation by Turkey. Turkey is a bastion of peace, participating and in the operation against Afghanistan, in Afghanistan. Is the keeper of the peace, is the keeper of the keys of Kabul. And yet, Turkey has an occupation army in Cyprus. I don't want to say anything further because our effort is to sensitize the international community. In this effort, we have addressed lately, I have addressed a letter to Mr. Erdogan. You have the copies here, David, putting the case for Famagusta, asking for the understanding of Mr. Erdogan, and explaining the benefits that will accrue to everybody concerned, because Famagusta can be a confidence, the return of Famagusta, a confidence-building measure. One can imagine what can really happen when we start rebuilding Famagusta, what kind of activity we will see there between Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots, what kind of momentum can be created, what kind of vision we can have of a metropolis for the whole area of 500,000 people. Our young architects a few months ago had a kind of competition among them of presenting a futuristic Famagusta, and I was really impressed because after seeing the kind of Famagusta they were really dreaming of, our younger people, I saw the misery we live, and we were obliged to live with the old images, and we cannot capture the image of a new Famagusta where it can become a laboratory of peace. In fact, even before addressing this letter to Mr. Erdogan, we have requested from, through the President of Cyprus, from the Secretary General, to request the Turkish Cypriots, and particularly Ankara, to allow, simply allow, experts from the United Nations or experts from Europe to enter the fenced-off area and start making a survey of how to rebuild the town. Even this very simple move of goodwill from the part of Turkey was not respected. They think that Famagusta is a bait. They keep Famagusta as a kind of blackmail for the rest of Cyprus. And they don't realize that as long as this situation in Famagusta continues, Turkey will be very difficult to be convincing that can become a European country. They create a boomerang, because even people in Cyprus who want a solution with the attitude of Turkey over this ghost town, they start thinking that there is not much hope left. I don't know whether this is a policy, but the continuous occupation of the town of Famagusta is counterproductive for Turkey and is counterproductive for the area. Mr. Chairman, I think I talked a little more than I should. I only want to say one thing. They asked me why, at the end of my political life, after being President of the House of Representatives so many years, Member of Parliament, so many other things in front of me, why I have chosen to be Mayor of Famagusta. Let me say that for me it's an honor, very honorable thing, to fight as a mayor of a ghost town. And I have in mind that there is another town with windmills like Famagusta, and this is La Mancha. So maybe Don Quixotes are born not only in Spain, but in Cyprus. Famagusta, as you said before, very aptly, means Ammόχωστος, hidden under the sand. For many years, unfortunately, Famagusta was hidden under the carpet. I'm here with the hope that there will be sensitivity from the part of Britain. And I have no doubt at all from my experience that the United Kingdom can have a forceful voice, if you wish, towards Turkey. And I think that the United Kingdom can be convincing as to the wisdom from the part of Turkey to start moving on the question of Famagusta. So let me thank you for your support, which is invaluable, and thank you very much, and your colleagues, for standing by us and fighting with us something which is true, genuine, and beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Dear Mr. President, first of all, let me thank you on behalf of all Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots for your initiative for this excellent discussion and debate this tonight in the House of Commons. What Famagustians can wait? What initiative you can take as a President of the Committee?
Well, the important thing is not only just to meet, and it is significant that we've met, because this is the first time as a parliament, as a parliamentary group, that we have been able to focus particularly on the one issue, and such a significant issue of Famagusta. So what we can do, and we have members of the group who are particularly taking on these issues, well, beyond here, is to make sure that questions are asked of ministers, that letters are written specifically on the issue of Famagusta to say, look, we all want a solution to the Cyprus problem, but we can't wait even that long. We need to make progress now on the issue of Famagusta. It's an issue that can't wait for comprehensive settlement. It has to be dealt with now, because it's an issue that is fundamentally an issue of breaches of international law, of fundamental human rights, and really this should be very much seen as the start of a new and brighter future for Cyprus.
Thank you. Are you thinking of taking the opportunity of the Council of Europe as the other gentleman mentioned.
Yes, absolutely. Now, Britain is taking over the presidency, and it's going to be a real opportunity for Britain to show how it wants to set the agenda, and no more so for an issue of Europe than the issue of Famagusta, because that's an opportunity. So what we're going to do is make sure that the minister is ready for the case to be made, and let's try and get it on the agenda for when the UK has the presidency.
Apart from president of All Parties Committee for Cyprus, you are also MP.
Yes.
And our audience living in your constituency, the vast majority of our audience living in your constituency, we have an issue about the Pickham Way waste management. Could you address your constituents and say if to update them or to tell them where the whole matter is now at the moment?
Yes, no, you made the point. I'm a member of Parliament, which means I have the opportunity to take up issues of Cyprus and chair this all-party parliamentary group, but also we're constituency members of Parliament, and the issue of Pickham Way is of great concern to constituents. We've managed to work together as a community to ensure that the plans are now on hold, and that there has to be a full consultation with Haringey Council when they set their strategy, which includes how do we designate Pickham Way? Is this an industrial site that can be developed upon as a big waste management site, or should it be respected for what it is, which is, yes, an old sewage site, but one that has great ecological value and one that shouldn't lead to the biggest waste management site in Europe. So we've won the battle in terms of putting it off to ensure that we have a better consultation. And what anyone who listens to here who's concerned with Pickham Way, they need to make sure that they write to Haringey Council, say, yes, I want to be part of that consultation now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barrow.
Thank you very much.
Έχουμε τη χαρά και την τιμή να έχουμε απόψε μαζί μας στο Λονδίνο τον πρώην πρόεδρο της Βουλής και δήμαρχο της Αμμόχωστου, τον κύριο Αλέξη Γαλανό. Κύριε Γαλανέ, καλώς ήρθατε στο House of Commons, στο Λονδίνο και στο House of Commons. Τι περιμένουν οι βαρουσιώτες από αυτά τα meetings εδώ που κάνετε στο House of Commons με το All Party Parliamentary Committee for Cyprus?
Κοιτάξτε, προσπαθούμε με κάθε τρόπο να αυξήσουμε τις πιέσεις πάνω στην Τουρκία για να επιστραφεί η πόλη μας, η Βασιλέουσα, η πόλη την οποία έχει καταστήσει η Τουρκία από φάντασμα. Με αυτές τις συναντήσεις κατατοπίζουμε για την κατάσταση της Αμμόχωστου, αλλά και εξηγούμε ότι το πραγματικό συμφέρον της Βρετανίας και των ευρωπαϊκών χωρών είναι να υπάρξει πρόοδος στο Κυπριακό, και πρόοδος μπορεί να υπάρξει μέσω της Αμμόχωστου. Εξάλλου υπενθυμίζουμε και τον ρόλο της Βρετανίας σαν και εγκυτηρίας δύναμης και τον ρόλο που διαδραματίζουν οι βάσεις της, αλλά ταυτόχρονα υπενθυμίζουμε και τα ψηφίσματα, αποφάσεις των Ηνωμένων Εθνών. Κατά συνέπεια, η εδώ παρουσία μας σκοπό έχει να αυξήσει το κόστος της συνεχιζόμενης κατοχής της Κύπρου και της συνεχιζόμενης κατοχής της Αμμόχωστου. Και προβάλλοντας το χαρτί της Αμμόχωστου, προβάλλουμε το χαρτί της επανένωσης της Κύπρου, αλλά και δυσκολεύουμε τα επεκτατικά σχέδια της Τουρκίας σε βάρος της ακεραιότητας της Κύπρου, όπως εκδηλώνεται τώρα στο θέμα των διοτρήσεων πετρελαίου.
Ακούστηκε κατά τη συζήτηση ότι είναι πολύ καλή ιδέα να εκμεταλλευτούμε κάποιο ψήφισμα του Συμβουλίου της Ευρώπης, στο οποίο μετέχει και η Τουρκία, μετέχει και η Βρετανία, μετέχει και η Κύπρος και η Ελλάδα. Έχετε σκοπό να πάρετε κάποια πρωτοβουλία πάνω σε αυτό?
Ναι, οι προσπάθειες μας θα στραφούν και προς το Συμβούλιο της Ευρώπης, αλλά ταυτόχρονα πρέπει να συγχαρούμε τους εκπροσώπους μας του Συμβουλίου της Ευρώπης. Πιστεύω έχει διαδραματίσει αρκετά σημαντικό ρόλο σε αυτό το θέμα ο βουλευτής κ. Πουργουρίδης για ένα τέτοιο δυνατό ψήφισμα. Έχουμε πολλά ψηφίσματα στο παρελθόν του Συμβουλίου της Ευρώπης. Θυμούμε, είχαμε ψήφισμα για τον επικισμό το 1991 και άλλα ψηφίσματα όσον αφορούν τα ανθρώπινα δικαιώματα. Δυστυχώς παίρνουμε τα ψηφίσματα αλλά δεν τα αξιοποιούμε. Και είναι εδώ που πρέπει να κοιτάξουμε επιτέλους να αξιοποιούμε πρακτικά τις διάφορες αποφάσεις οι οποίες λαμβάνονται και να μην τις αφήνουμε να χάνονται στον χρόνο. Είναι καθαρό πλέον ότι το Κυπριακό πρέπει να το τοποθετούμε καθαρά σαν θέμα εισβολής, κατοχής, παραβίασης ανθρωπίνων δικαιωμάτων. Το θέμα των Τουρκοκυπρίων, παρόλο την καλή μας θέληση και παρόλο που σίγουρα θα ζήσουμε μαζί να επανενωθεί η Κύπρος, είναι προπέτασμα να το χρησιμοποιεί η Τουρκία σαν προπέτασμα καπνού για τις δικές της, για να συνεχίσει την πολιτική της σε βάρος και της Κύπρου αλλά και της περιοχής.
Σας ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ.